Rocketed as a child from an alien planet and raised in a small prairie town, Rick Van Dyke moved to a bustling metropolis to seek his destiny. Armed with the amassed knowledge of movies, television, comic books, rock and roll, and bubblegum, Rick became a cartoonist, writer, movie maker, and now host of his own web show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rick Van Dyke Show.
As a general rule, I don't find horror films scary. So for me, my preference generally runs in the realm of high-concept horror. Movies such as Hellraiser, The Exorcist, The Shining, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen. Movies that step a little bit outside of what's expected and gives you a little bit more than you bargained for. However, I do have an affinity for the classics. Movies such as Nosferatu, Dracula, The Wolfman, The Mummy, and others. Believe it or not, those were considered to be the epitome of terror in their time. Welcome to the Rick Van Dyke Show. I'm Rick Van Dyke, and this is my show. I have my guests here. Jeff, pick a camera.
Nice to see you.
Jeff.
Two Jeffs.
And Chris.
The deal. There you go.
All right, so our topic today is horror movies. I know that's broad, and I figured it'll give us a lot of material to cover, and I know you yourself are an aficionado in the genre, and we're all sort of fans in one way or another.
Yep.
So let's start off with the question. What is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Ever seen?
Come on, there's got to be one that stands out. Like, even, like for me, it was a movie I saw when I was a child, so it affected me in a certain point in my life in which its scare factor is not based on the way I would observe it now, but how it affected me as a child and the way I see it now in retrospect. Mine
would be, it's not even horror, you can attest to this, Gene Simmons. For how many years?
Yeah.
I would cry. I would scream in the pictures of Gene Simmons. That was horror to me. Now, it's not a horror movie. It's not a horror topic.
You mean Gene Simmons, the actress from the 40s?
Yeah, The Runaway. No, Gene Simmons. So, you ever seen Runaway?
Yeah, we used to scare you. We'd I'd make
Dempsey,
you cry.
All right, so movie trivia time. Since talking about Kiss.
All right.
Gene Simmons is in lots of movies.
Yeah.
But what is one movie that Kiss appeared in, notoriously?
Well, Phantom of the Park, of course.
Phantom of the Park,
Okay, back to scary movies.
Okay, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Lately, The Woman in Black with, what's his name?
Daniel
Radcliffe.
Yeah.
So your entire life, that's the movie that's...
No, I don't really have a scariest movie my entire life. Something that sticks with me, something that has always stuck with me. Nosferatu, I still think, is one of the chilliest movies. Seeing that Max Schreck, it's kind of a throwaway answer, but
yeah, I feel like you phoned that one
That's
in.
That's an interesting movie. There wasn't a movie when you were a kid that scared
Demons. Demons scared me, but I still like demons. I've always liked demons. Dario Argento.
Did it make you not sleep? Were you scared?
I never had a movie that I could think that I could not sleep.
When her teeth fall out when she's transforming.
In the bathroom.
The prostitute.
Right?
But
like
not enough
scene?
that I couldn't sleep.
Totally. I'm with you with that too. I feel the same way about horror movies. I love horror movies. It's principally what I watch, much to my wife's dismay. But I feel the same way, and we had talked about this earlier, that I don't find movies that particularly scare me.
No.
There's effective movies, there's creepy movies.
That's what I think.
There's a lot of really great gross out movies. But for me, I think the movie that always stuck with me, and I love it to this day, and it's not a lot of people know it, and I force it on everybody, is a movie called The Gate. Did you ever see The Gate?
Mm-hmm.
It starred a 9-year-old Stephen Dorff, and it's one of these, a big thing right now in the cult movie stuff is all the rock and roll horror that came out in the 80s, right? Yeah. Like Trick or Treat, and what the hell? Now I'm forgetting everything, but Trick or Treat's one of them, whatever. Rocktober Blood. There's a whole bunch. But The Gate's like this unsung rock and roll horror movie because it's got two nerdy kids who are around the age when I saw that movie. It came out in 86. I would have seen it in 89 or 90 when I was 9 or 10 years old. So, like, I identified with those characters.
Yeah.
They were into Priest. I was into Priest. You know, they had the cut-off denim jacket.
They're
I always
talking-
wanted
they're talking
one.
to me, right?
Right?
Yeah.
So, they're talking to me. I identified with it. And all this crazy, insane shit happens. And it has a couple, like, endings where, like, the movie wraps up and you're like, you know, it's been so unrelenting this whole time that finally we get this break and it just starts up again. And it just goes to this place, especially with a child protagonist, that you don't see in horror movies. There's a great, spoiler alert, guys, 1986, fucking go watch the movie. So they summon, basically what they do is they dig out a tree. This is a running gag in my podcast. I always say spoiler alert. We always cover movies from the fucking 60s. So there's this, the gist of this movie basically is that they dig up this tree and there's a hole and they find a geode and they put it on one of those like magnetic erase boards, you know, where you peel it off,
Yeah.
right? So it makes all these symbols. So logically you're 13, you're like, well, fuck, I'm going to read this out loud. And it opens up a portal to hell and all these awesome little like foot tall demons, and the effects are amazing. They show up and start like wreaking havoc and turning into shit, and the dog dies and the mom dies, and like there's all this like really terrifying. If you're 9 or 10 years old watching this, your family's dying, your pet's dying, your best friend gets, you know, sucked into the pit. Like, it's super scary. But it gets, like, ramped up. You think you're safe, and then you're sitting around and you've gone through all this crazy stuff, and you're 13, so you can't cope with it. And you think, okay, everything's good. And then this fucking zombie thing, like, falls through the wall, because earlier they were talking about how, you know, someone, you know, the guy who was building your house died and they buried him in the wall, right?
Yeah.
Which you've heard 100 times by the time you're 10 or 11 years old. And so he comes through the wall and it turns into the demons, and then they summon up this huge demon and everybody's dead. Everybody's been killed by these demons except 9-year-old Stephen Dorff. And he gets like an eye grows in his fucking hand because that's part of the prophecy, and it's super creepy, and he stabs it with a thing of glass and like has to fight this giant demon. And like the wrap up even is a little somber. Right? It's not like this magical Disney thing where the villain gets his comeuppance really graphically and then everybody's fine. Like, it's really scarring. And so that movie for me, like, I don't know if that answers that question, but that movie for me really, really affected me because I was at the right age to see that.
Yeah.
And just with the protagonist that's so identifiable for the audience that movie was made for. That was made in a time when people realized that horror movies are for kids. You know,
Yeah.
like now, you know, with like the torture porn stuff, like Saw
Yeah.
and Hostel, not so much, right?
Restricted,
But back in
yeah.
the day, horror movies were for kids. You know, it was a boogeyman story. You had an identifiable protagonist, and it wrapped up in such a way that, like, oh, you got away and it's okay and everything's cool. And this movie just didn't go that way, and no one likes it or has heard of it. And it's a bit of a slow burn. It's a lot like those '70s movies where like things take a while to get going, and you
Yeah.
just get little pieces, and
And once it
you're
goes,
just like
boom.
riveted, right? And I still watch that movie all the time, and I love it. So that would be my scariest movie.
Okay.
So not really scary, but it's the one
Just
that's
sticks
lasted.
with you, yeah.
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead, then going to that, because I used to birthday parties. I used to always
That
watch
movie is fantastic.
I love them.
Punk rock zombie movie.
More
Yeah.
cops.
You know what? I was
Was it
at a
scary when I
friend's
was a kid?
birthday party about 10 houses down in Leduc when we lived there.
Yeah.
10 houses down. And about half a block. And I still caught a ride home. I still got a ride home. I love that movie, but
Birthday
yeah, I remember
parties, everything with that
yeah,
movie.
that was a scary movie
The
when you were
Tar
in grade
zombie is
6,
still,
right?
the Tar zombie
Tarman?
Yeah.
is still one of the best zombie creations.
Dan Bannon, he directed that, and he did. He wrote Alien.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that movie, I think that's my favorite zombie movie, hands down. And
It's funny as hell
you know,
too.
the
Makes me laugh out loud.
after the fact, Rocky Erickson having a song. I didn't realize as a kid, but there's a guy we listened to, 13 for our elevator, and that he has a song in the soundtrack, which is awesome. But the old was it the uncle or you know the guys at the beginning who find the Tar zombie?
What's the guy who
The older guy.
who runs the
He's the manager.
You need a
No.
medical facility? Yeah,
Yeah,
he's the
so,
manager.
yeah, so just his
he is over the top.
his delivery was very like just like, oh man,
Yeah,
like,
he was a machine
awesome.
gun of manic energy. That guy.
Oh.
He gave 110% even when he was unconscious. Like he just wouldn't stop.
No, especially when he runs to the parish area and the
Yeah.
mortuary there, or the morgue.
He's brilliant. Yeah, that whole movie is just so ramped up. It's funny because like I don't consider that one a horror movie, That,
But when you're a
it-
kid,
that to me is
Oh.
even when I saw it as a kid, I always
Really?
thought it was a comedy. Yeah, because like it's just so
zombies
insane.
eating people.
Yeah,
It had funny. I remember, but still, it scared the shit out of me.
yeah. I never found it scary.
Vivid imagination.
Yeah, I never found it, but then I was older, right?
Yeah.
I didn't find it scary.
I
but-
was in
but for
grade
me,
6.
it was.
Old man Rick didn't watch punk rock movies.
That's right. No, it's, yeah, they damn
No, I
kids.
love that movie.
You damn kids.
Love that movie, especially the strip sequence where the chick takes
Oh,
off all
yeah.
the clothes. I'm like,
The Exorcist. There's the one part still that's kind of haunting, where that person's running down the street or something like that. I think somebody dies of a heart attack. But you see that quick snippet, and you see that face.
Oh
that,
yeah.
The Flash of Regan, yeah.
The black and white face,
yeah.
Yeah.
and that's like, ooh, it's kind of.
The,
It still kind of gives
the
you
striptease
chills.
girl is my friend Linnea Quigley, and she's been in over 150 B-horror movies.
Oh no.
Who's
Yeah.
this?
Linnea, the striptease girl in Return of the Living Dead.
Oh wow.
really?
Yeah.
She was
Striptease girl.
smoking
Striptease.
hot in that.
Really?
Come on, you know that scene. Everybody knows that scene, and then she turns into the naked zombie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
the
her
red-
biggest
the
fear
fox.
was getting eaten by
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
men, right?
Yeah.
And then
You
she
ever
gets.
fantasize what it's like to be dead?
You know her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine, and she's in a million movies like that, and she's probably, I would say, she's the top-rated scream queen of all time, and that's her most famous role.
Cool.
But she's in a ton of stuff. She's in Night of the Demons. She's in Creepazoid. She's in Slime Balls. In the what the fuck is that movie called? It's so brilliant.
You are a horror aficionado,
Yeah,
aren't
yeah,
you?
yeah. She's in like seriously 150 movies. Just
Wow.
look her up. You've seen her in a ton of stuff.
Wow.
Night of the Demons. You've seen that movie
I think so.
where they party in the old house and the chick like turns into a demon, and there's that one girl that like sticks lipstick into her boob.
Mm-mm.
No,
Okay,
I don't-
same girl. She's in Creepazoids. Fuck, she's in so much good stuff, man. But yeah, anyway,
Wow.
Linnea Quigley. So her most famous role in that movie. Funny thing about the soundtrack, I don't know if you have it in this mess here, but the DVD release has a different soundtrack
Really?
than the original
Because he
release.
couldn't obtain the rights.
Couldn't obtain the rights. Yeah.
Huh.
So there's like some really great, like, you know, that has the Cramps and 45 Grave and like
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
awesome music, and it's totally different in the DVD. And I kind of called bullshit because, you know, I hadn't seen it in a long time. I picked it up on DVD, was watching it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the movie I remember. That's the same, like, do you want to party?
Yeah.
That's the 45 Grave. That song is still in there. That's when Linnea does her striptease and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it said, well, switch to the French language track, and sure enough, it's different music. And
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
so
weird.
I know that a lot of people complain about the DVD release of that.
Huh.
I wonder if
film.
there's a different because like I was talking about Rocky Erickson, the old dude there
Yeah.
when he takes his wedding ring off and
Yeah.
he goes in.
Yeah,
that
he's
was
going for
Rocky
the,
Erickson.
No,
right?
you know what? And there's no
Cremation.
music.
So yeah, they could.
What?
Oh,
in the
really?
DVD, there's zero
See,
music.
Then
the
they took
music,
out-
That's too bad because the
Yeah.
music kind of adds to that scene.
Yeah.
It really changes it. It makes it really, really dark
Yeah.
without the music.
So you
Yeah.
can't
Oh,
get the
yeah.
original version on DVD.
Nope. VHS has the original score, and I have a Blu-ray of it that Linnea gave me, but it's from the UK, so I don't
That's
know
the
if it's
Ah.
because I can't play it. But
Official. Oh, the different
that
format.
region format,
Yeah,
yeah. Most Blu-rays are not region locked, except apparently fucking that one. So, but she gave it to me, so it's super cool. But yeah. So interesting. Yeah, that's a great movie. Everybody should see
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
If we're going to talk about lasting, right? We're going to talk about like something you saw when you were younger that kind of like fucked you up for a little
Yeah.
bit. I have two memories of two movies that may or may not be correct, but that is what is in my head,
Yeah.
and I'm
Had
now
lots
I'm
of those. Yeah.
so okay. I have this memory, and I don't know if it was in the show or not.
Sweet bitch,
But it's
Sam.
attached to, but a little kid vampire floating outside
Outside
the
the window.
Yeah.
scratching. Like I like that combined with, and I don't know if because I can't remember parts of the fog, but I thought it was
I
the
remember
fog.
everything about the fog.
Okay, so
Just
then
throw me a bone.
okay, but I just have this memory of it was almost like, and I think maybe it was a dream or something, but a hammock in this outside room with a door going downstairs, and just this old man sitting kind of in the dark and but kind of green and yellow, and I don't know if it was actually in the fog.
No, that is the Sentinel.
I don't know, but I saw that movie. What
Does
is
it focus on like there's always this guy up in this window in this dark room, and it's like a female protagonist, and she goes, I'm sure you're thinking the Sentinel.
It might be. I was like 5 years old, but honestly, until I was 12, I had to have the covers under my feet and up to my neck, like till 12 or 14. So that had those two movies, those little things had a very lasting effect.
The castle lights are growing dim. There's no one left but me and him. When next we meet on the Rick Van Dyke Show,